For a very long time, humans believed that the darkest parts of the universe were truly empty. When we looked between the stars, between galaxies, into the endless black, we assumed there was nothing there. No matter. No energy, no motion, just silence. But what if that idea is completely wrong? The truth is far stranger. The space that looks empty is not empty at all. It is filled with matter, energy, motion, and invisible structures that quietly shape the universe on every scale. What appears to be darkness is actually one of the most active environments in existence. Tonight, we are not exploring stars or planets. We are exploring the darkness between them. The space we thought was empty, but never was. Because once you understand what truly exists in the void, you will never look at the night sky the same way again. Between the stars inside galaxies lies the interstellar medium. This is not solid or dense like air. It is incredibly thin, far thinner than any vacuum humans can create on Earth. Yet it is not nothing. It contains hydrogen atoms, helium, traces of heavier elements, cosmic dust, magnetic fields, and energetic particles moving at extreme speeds. If you could stand in interstellar space without protection, you would not feel air or pressure, but you would still be surrounded by matter. A few atoms per cubic centimeter may not sound like much, but across light years of space, those atoms add up to enormous amounts of material. This invisible material is the raw ingredient of stars, planets, and life itself. Beyond galaxies lies intergalactic space, which appears even emptier. For a long time, astronomers believed that the space between galaxies was almost completely void. Galaxies were thought to float alone in darkness, separated by immense stretches of nothing. Modern observations changed that view completely. Intergalactic space is filled with a faint hot gas called the intergalactic medium. This gas is so thin that it is nearly impossible to detect directly. Yet it stretches across vast distances, forming enormous filaments that connect galaxies together. These filaments create what scientists call the cosmic web, a vast structure that looks like a network of glowing threads when mapped in simulations. Galaxies do not sit randomly in space. They are embedded in this web, feeding from it, moving through it, and shaped by it. Without this invisible structure, galaxies as we know them would not exist. What once seemed like emptiness turns out to be the universe's scaffolding. Even more mysterious than gas and dust is something that cannot be seen at all. Dark matter. It does not emit light. It does not reflect light. It does not absorb light. And yet it makes up most of the matter in the universe. Stars and galaxies move in ways that cannot be explained by visible matter alone. They rotate too fast. They hold together when they should fly apart. The only explanation is that space itself is filled with an invisible form of mass. Dark matter forms massive halos around galaxies and stretches through intergalactic space. It shapes the motion of stars and determines where galaxies form. Without dark matter, the universe would look completely different. So when we talk about empty space, we are actually talking about regions dominated by something we cannot see, but that controls everything we can. Space is not only filled with matter, it is filled with energy. Even in the darkest regions of the universe, there is background radiation left over from the birth of the cosmos. This ancient light, known as the cosmic microwave background, fills all of space evenly. It is the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, still present nearly 14 billion years later. On the smallest scales, space is even stranger. According to quantum physics, empty space is never truly still. Particles appear and disappear constantly in what are called vacuum fluctuations. These events happen too quickly to observe directly, but their effects are measurable. In this view, emptiness is an illusion. Space itself has energy, motion, and structure, even when nothing else is present. The reason this matters is simple. Everything comes from this so-called emptiness. Stars are born when slight differences in density cause gas in space to collapse. Galaxies grow by pulling material from the intergalactic medium. Even planetary systems form from dust that once drifted freely through space. Life itself is made from elements forged in stars and scattered across space by explosions. Those elements traveled through what looked like nothing before becoming part of planets, oceans, and living cells. Empty space is not a backdrop. It is an active participant in cosmic history. When scientists say that space is not empty, they are not speaking metaphorically. At the deepest level known to physics, space itself is an active system. Even when all matter is removed, even when temperature approaches absolute zero, space continues to behave in strange and measurable ways. This challenges the most basic human idea of nothingness. According to modern physics, empty space is better described as a vacuum state. But this vacuum is not calm or inactive. It is filled with invisible fields that exist everywhere at once. These fields can never fully switch off. They fluctuate, vibrate, and interact constantly, even when no particles appear to be present. In classical thinking, particles were once considered the basic building blocks of reality. Modern science has turned that idea upside down. Today, physicists understand that particles are not fundamental objects. They are temporary excitations in underlying quantum fields. Every type of particle has its own field. There is an electron field, a photon field, a quark field, and many more. These fields exist everywhere in space, including regions that appear completely empty. What we call a particle is simply a small vibration in one of these fields, similar to a ripple on the surface of water. This means that empty space is not empty because the fields are always there. Even when no particles are visible, the fields remain active beneath the surface of reality. One of the strangest consequences of quantum physics is vacuum fluctuation. In empty space, particle and antiparticle pairs can briefly appear and then disappear again. These are called virtual particles. They do not last long enough to be observed directly, but their effects are real and measurable. These particles borrow energy from the vacuum for a very short time before annihilating each other. This process happens everywhere in space, constantly. Even in the darkest void between galaxies, this microscopic activity never stops. Experiments have confirmed the effects of vacuum fluctuations. They influence atomic behavior, energy levels, and even the forces between objects placed extremely close together. Empty space is therefore not silent. It is buzzing with activity at scales far smaller than atoms. Space is not just a container where things exist. It is part of space-time, a four-dimensional structure that combines space and time into a single fabric. According to Einstein's theory of general relativity, this fabric can bend, stretch, and curve. Mass and energy warp space-time. Planets curve it slightly, stars curve it more. Black holes curve it so strongly that space and time nearly break down entirely. Even regions that appear empty are shaped by distant masses through this invisible geometry. This means that space itself responds to what exists within it. It is not passive. It reacts, it evolves. Gravity is not a force moving through space. It is the shape of space itself guiding motion. On the largest scales, empty space plays an even bigger role. Observations show that the expansion of the universe is accelerating. Galaxies are not just moving apart, they are speeding up as they do so. The cause of this acceleration is something called dark energy. It appears to be a property of space itself. The more space there is, the more dark energy exists. As the universe expands, space creates more of the very thing that pushes it to expand faster. Dark energy dominates the universe today. It outweighs all matter combined. This means that the future of the cosmos is controlled not by stars or galaxies, but by the energy of empty space. Some regions of the universe are called cosmic voids. These are vast areas with very few galaxies. They appear to be the closest thing to true emptiness on cosmic scales. Yet even these voids are not empty. They contain low-density gas, dark matter, quantum fields, radiation, and expanding space-time. Over billions of years, voids grow larger as matter drains toward denser regions, but they never become nothing. In fact, voids play a major role in shaping the large-scale structure of the universe. Their expansion influences how galaxies cluster and how cosmic filaments evolve. The deeper science goes, the clearer one conclusion becomes. True nothingness may be impossible. Space without fields, space without energy, space without structure. Such a state may not exist in nature. The universe seems to require something everywhere. Fields fill space, energy fills space. Laws of physics apply everywhere. Even time itself continues to move forward in regions where nothing appears to happen. What we once called empty space is actually the foundation of everything that exists. Understanding that space is not empty changes how we see reality. The universe is not made of isolated objects floating in nothingness. It is a continuous system where everything is connected through fields, forces, and space-time itself. We are not standing apart from this structure. We are embedded within it. Our atoms are vibrations in fields that stretch across the cosmos. Our existence depends on processes that operate silently in the darkest regions of space. The void is not absence. It is presence beyond our senses. And the deeper we look into emptiness, the more we discover that it is full of everything that makes the universe possible. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden side of the universe, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Here we explore the mysteries that hide behind the obvious, the science that reshapes how we see reality, and the questions that make us realize how small yet connected we truly are. More journeys are coming, deeper questions, bigger mysteries. And every answer will only make the universe feel even more incredible.